Yo, JD here, and as you can see, we are back on F1 23. But as you can also see by the title, we are actually back with a very sadly familiar topic, and that topic is cheating. And yeah, didn't think I'd be speaking about this so soon into the game. I really genuinely hope that this is something that we did not really have to discuss, that an anti-cheat would be installed and we could just enjoy watching the very best go against each other and people online and just respect the talent for what they have. But yeah, it appears that the same cheats that were present on F1 22, the ones that were highly expected to be using the most, have returned for F1 23. For me, this is an issue that really did need to be resolved before the release of the game. And I understand that F1 Esports starts typically in September, so that is a few months away. But I think the consequences are much, much bigger than that, because I feel it completely destroys the credibility, the integrity, and really the opportunity of many legit players who are actually trying to make a name for themselves. Because you don't have to be F1 Esports World Champion to have a very good short-term or even long-term career by playing this game. There have been many other drivers such as Marcel Kiefer, for example, other content creators who don't need to be the fastest at the game, but if you are relevant and you are in the scene and you're good at what you do, whether that's being creative or just being a fast driver, in this case being a fast driver, having cheats like this where other people are going to be taking the spotlight, taking spots within the F1 Esports challenges, because the online qualifying is never done on LAN, it is completely online, and typically this cheating has been done on PC. I suspect that there are going to be many drivers who are not going to be legitimate trying to qualify for that, and even adding 0.1% or 0.5% of grip could make that difference between them getting a spot and knocking someone else out who has been legit and won't be able to showcase their talent. So I think there really is a lot on the line, and again, I think this really did need to be a big priority. I thought there was definitely enough time coming into this game to maybe do something about it, but it seems that the same source is supplying the same cheats again. And if you look on time trial, one of the main sources has done a time at Bahrain and many other tracks, but you can see by telemetry, comparing to F1 Esports driver Fabrizio Donoso, he's able to get on the power 100% so early in second gear, whereas Donoso can't even get on 100% power until the exit of turn 2. So it seems to be, again, the ability to get on this traction seems to be the main feature of this hack. I have been told that you can do other things such as ERS recovery, something that was highly suspected in last year's game as well, but typically it is the traction and just the drive that you're getting out of the corners. Codemasters have actually addressed this now in an article with Racing Games, saying that the anti-cheat is in the works, but again, I think this needed to be a really high priority for the release for the reasons I said above. Let me know what you think of this. Recently, PSGL actually held a social race at Spain, and Thomas Ronha, someone who was very heavily accused on last game, did seem to have a little bit of an off performance. And for me, this is a brand new game. You can't really judge anything too much on the first real competitive race you see some drivers do, but Spain was definitely a track that he was insanely strong at last game. I remember there was quite a controversial PSGL race at Spain. I know the layout was a little bit different since it had the final chicane, now it doesn't, but he was incredibly fast around there, and I think that was one of the first videos I ever made on the topic. But in this race, he was struggling quite a bit for pace compared to the normal competition he goes against, even spinning in his final Q3 attempt, which I don't think I've ever seen him spin in a qualifying attempt or make a mistake, and I think he finished outside the top 5. However, recently, as last Wednesday, the official round 1 of PSGL, he actually managed to achieve pole position by a fairly decent margin, by about half a tenth, And this was without even needing to complete a final run. So he did it before his final run. Very, very impressive. I did see a lot of people in the chat call this out again. But for me, I'm not really going to make a analysis video or a video on that right now. I don't think it's really the sensible and the fair thing to do. I think you need to give it time. And for me, when you've seen cheating in other esports and other games, there's no reason why someone can't be OP at one particular track or one particular event. But I think one of the things that does give it away is being able to do it everywhere and so consistently. Have that same gap at every single track, every single event you do. Not saying it's not possible, but it's the consistency and the gap consistently is one of the main telling signs of when someone is possibly not being legit. Because at the end of the day, we are all human beings, but think of that as you will. A driver within the field even accused him of cheating, but I won't be naming who that is or supplying the footage because I don't think they really will want me to do that, but I'll let you have a little find out and guess who that was. But again, this really does need to be a top priority and just further confirms that esports has to be on the LAN. And even as far to say, as the drivers who actually try and qualify for F1 Esports through online qualifying events, I really do feel sorry for people who are trying to get into the Challenger Series, going through those online qualifying events, because you just don't know who is going to be legitimate or not. And I really do hope this anti-cheat, which should have been here already, is going to be sophisticated enough to actually really stop this from happening. Please let me know what your thoughts are, and I will catch you very, very soon. Peace.